What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today was one very volatile ride, as you can tell based on the intraday chart. I want to give you a good overview of some of the data points, technicals, what shorts did, everything that you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, when it comes down to after hours, everyone and their dog is listening into the Tesla earnings, which is currently underway. And as you can tell, there is a lot of volatility, but so far it seems to be the code word for the most part is just cost cutting. So that's definitely something that they are stressing. And I think Q1 earnings, that's something that Lucid started to really focus on. And hopefully that will be represented as well based on the earnings per share in the Q2 earnings, which I believe is on August the 7th, if I remember correctly. But still, definitely whatever does come out from the Tesla earnings, like I've said in the past, is going to trickle down the good, the bad, and the ugly to all the other EVs. But at the time of doing this video, there is no actual news, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines that did come out, although some kind of shocking and positive videos that did come out of the gravity. So it is very, very close. I really do feel that. And like I've said, typically, so August 7th is their Q2 earnings. What they really like to do is 1 to 2 weeks out prior to that, they always like to unveil some very positive catalyst. So you never know, it might be coming fairly soon. And as I've mentioned in the past, it was signaled to me by a advisor that they are going to be unveiling the gravity, or at least launching it pre-tentatively this summer. So of course, I think that's going to be a very, very big deal. Just it's going to plainly come down to the price point if this is going to be a success or not. So let me know you guys' thoughts on the gravity, and if you are excited for that or not, what's your guys' take on all of that. I'll give you guys a good overview of some of the recent data points. So starting off with options. So today was a little bit more of a mixed day. So $29 million in puts being purchased versus 5.56 million in calls. So based on this, people are anticipating for Lucid to go down. And I don't know if part of this had to do with just piggybacking and hedging off of the Tesla earnings, because if Tesla was to say some certain words per se, such as maybe supply chain issues or just some other aspects, that would really be very much magnified tenfold for Lucid. We already do know that whenever something negative comes down from Tesla, it really just gets magnified with Lucid, which is unfortunate, but that's just the name of the game. But again, when it comes down to this, a lot of people are just anticipating that it is going to trend down from here. As far as the calls, this is all the grid that you need to know. So the strike prices, expiry dates, based on this, which of course is a little bit more of a bullish aspect and viewpoint, it is anticipated to be between the $7.50 to $8 range in the next couple of weeks. And based on and incorporating their actual earnings, it's kind of all over the place. It is anticipated to go anywhere from around $7 to $9 based on their earnings. And of course, this is the bullish viewpoint. But when it comes down to it, options does not move the stock price. It is just merely a sentiment. So this $29 million in puts being purchased today is just people assuming that it is going to go down. But based on the technicals, with it being at $7.25, it is currently between this R1 and the R2 based on the fib levels. So it actually did touch the R1 today. So it kind of bounced off of that, very good support in that regard. But going into tomorrow and the following days, that is a strong support that you need to watch for. Vice versa, $7.57 is that next big resistance point that, of course, Lucid does need to get over. When it comes down to it though, as you can see right here, looking at the two indicators I like to look at, momentum shows number of retail investors were getting out today. Stochastic shows 47, no defined trend right now, but 47 is kind of neutral, so definitely does need a good boost up. And when it did pull back down from, it looks like the high of around $8 down back down to the sixes, it did reset a lot of the technicals. So of course that's a fairly positive thing in that regard. Big money. So big money was very much getting in today. So these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market. Majority of them are buys. For instance, the 8.71 million was a very good buy. The 1.46 million was another similar buy. So definitely behind the scenes, big money was accumulating and I guess essentially buying into this whole rally that did cause it to go up first thing, as you can see right here. So first thing, of course, it did fail to hold its gains, and that's one negative thing of any stock going up fairly fast without anything kind of substantially holding it up. It usually falls down fairly fast. So that's kind of what happened today. I'll give you guys a good overview, for instance, of what is happening with shorts. So short score is currently 74, utilization is 76.35%, and currently shorts did return 451,000 shares. So pretty good in that regard. The fact that it was a green day and that they did return some shares, it does go to show that they do feel possibly that there's maybe upside coming. So kind of contradictory to the options activity. But once again, all of this is just sentiment. So I'm listing all the points. You guys interpret that how you see fit, because I am not a financial advisor. So you guys always do your own due diligence. Cost to borrow did go up as well, so minorly. So 1.38% is the average. So not too much activity when it comes down to shorts though. 21.09% of the free float is being shorted. So definitely fairly high in that regard. But when it comes down to earnings, especially with Tesla earnings underway right now and Lucid's right around the corner, I'll give you guys a good overview if there has been any changes. And it looks like there was one minor one in a very positive way, of course. So when it comes down to earnings, there are several different things people care about: earnings per share, revenue, future guidance. But when it comes down to earnings per share and revenue, that is very much dependent on analysts and their estimates. So right here, it does look like there was previously 5 estimates with an average consensus of -38 cents for the earnings per share. But as you can see, it does look like now there is 6 analysts. So one analyst just jumped on board, and there is a consensus of -34 cents. So that analyst that did recently jump on board is very optimistic and bullish, and I'll kind of share with you in a second who that might have been. And then finally, when it comes down to revenue, there doesn't seem too much of a change. Looks like the same 5 analysts. So there was previously 5 analysts with a consensus of 207.98 million for obviously revenue, and then still currently the same 5, but looks like some did lower the actual revenue in that regard. So $195.12 million for that. And most likely it was this. So Bank of America recently did give a rating on July the 17th, $8 target. So most likely it was that Bank of America that did most likely amend their revenue estimate and maybe got in for the earnings per share. Maybe they didn't give a estimate in that regard. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all that in the comments below. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, holding. What is your take, for instance, on Lucid? Looks like Tesla earnings after hours is kind of still flat, so up a little bit, but we'll see if that does trickle down or in a positive way, negative way to Lucid going into tomorrow. On a side note, when it comes down to the Gravity, do you think that it is going to be unveiled in July? Or what is your take? Do you think it's going to be pushed back to the later part of the year? Or kind of what's your viewpoint on all that? And do you think it's going to be a success? Some people are kind of impartial to it, thinking that it's going to be too costly or that it's ugly. I don't know. Let me know you guys' thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you: take advantage of free promos, and that is with Moomoo. It is free to open up an account with Moomoo, also free level 2 trading and $0 commission. If you do throw $100 at the account, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, and also you get a $50 cash reward. So this promo is a complete win-win. It's only up until August the 31st, so take advantage of this while you can. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's make a ton of money on Lucid.